Hello, welcome to this week's coffee chat.
Well, with a bit of water thrown
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, hang on.
Water chat.
That's now rendered this coffee chat
Diluted.
diluted. I was
Yeah, I'd
gonna
like
say-
to throw things in that aren't normal, and actually, I haven't had coffee in my cup from the beginning, so I felt like I needed to
spoiler.
be.
Oh well, why are you
Spoiler.
saying that?
Spoiler.
Why are you
I
saying
felt
that?
like I needed to just be transparent today.
To be honest, you do drink coffee, but not instant, don't you? You drink posh coffee.
No, I drink instant, but only with milk.
Oh, yeah, good point, my mate. Yeah.
I'm just a very weak, milky latte type of person.
Well, to be fair, I actually have water, but in a coffee cup.
Yeah, so you're faking it,
So,
and I decided
have
to be
coffee
real.
or be
No,
slightly
it's only
stronger.
because I have just finished my coffee,
Yeah.
and then I was like, I can either have nothing in my glass, cup, you're right,
Mug,
Mug.
relay, yeah.
yeah,
Red
or
mug.
I can have a little drink of water and
Is it a clean one, or did
keep
you put
myself
it in the one that
hydrated.
you had coffee in? Like, is it watery coffee?
no, it doesn't. I just washed it out a little bit.
Okay.
Put some water in it. I didn't use the new filter. We've got a new filter in there, don't we?
Water filter.
That's really
We
changing
are
our.
living the high life,
Oh wow,
to be honest.
it is unbelievable. Just because there's quite a lot of fussiness about the water.
Here there is.
Yeah.
I bring my own.
I think
from home.
Simon's one of the fussy people about this
I'm not
water.
fussy about the water. It's just that we've got a lot of
It's only in the staff kitchen, to be
limestone
fair.
in the water.
Yeah. Only in the staff kitchen.
Yeah,
But
and it makes your drinks a bit claggy, doesn't it? It's a northern term. Bits floating in there.
great. So that's a lovely drink of water because I'm not having unfiltered water. So that's gonna be lovely. How was your weekend, guys?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was a bit wet on Saturday, wasn't it? We actually went back to Reculver,
Did
We
you?
were
and
just
guess
gonna-
what happened?
Did you go looking for shark
We
teeth?
weren't going to, Jake.
We weren't going to.
We
but-
said, look, let's just go.
I
for
thought we
a
were done with the
walk.
shark teeth.
I know, and so did I. We said, let's just go for a
Yeah,
walk before we went.
And
This was
before,
Friday.
before we knew
actually.
it, we were under
No.
the rocks looking for teeth.
No, Simon was lifting up big rocks.
Oh my life.
And do you know why? Because the tide was so
Yeah.
far out. He
Guess
said,
what?
this is
Guess what,
perfect
Jake?
conditions.
Guess
We
what
found
happened?
two.
No.
We actually found four, but two of them
Yeah.
were broken, and I wouldn't let him take them home.
Yeah.
I said, put
So-
them back.
Put
Then
them
I've got
for
their
other people to
points on.
find.
Let someone that's never found
Yeah.
it find the
Find
broken
A
us like
broken
broken.
fossil.
Yeah.
So I've nearly got enough now for a necklace for Keelan.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
It
forward
was
to
a
that.
couple of hours of looking, and Simon
Was
said
it?
he kept looking.
How
and
do
going,
you not get
"You've
so
changed."
bored?
Because you're looking
Well, it was a
for
beautiful day, and it's
It
kind
was
of,
lovely.
it forced you to sort of slow down.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And instead of just looking around big rocks, he was literally
we
lifting
found loads
them.
of crabs.
Yeah, we found
And
crabs.
other things. Yeah. So yeah, it was a nice day on the beach.
Well, I'm impressed by your perseverance.
I know.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel
very
like we
good.
will have to probably stop, but we always say we're not going to look, and then need to get drawn in.
Actually, Saturday evening,
It was Friday. This was not Saturday.
Saturday evening, me and Emma well, I thought we were going to go for a nice walk down Reculver in the evening. I think Emma thought we were just doing like a 10-minute stroll.
Up the
Because we got there about 8 p.m, which for me is the perfect time for a walk because sunset, it's really nice. And I was thinking we're going to do the full walk, go down those stairs and across the bridge with the sunset. It's going to be beautiful. Then we get there about 10 minutes in, and Emma's like, all right, let's turn back. I was fuming.
You're never going to find shark's teeth like that. you
No.
know.
We
Not in
were
10
never
minutes.
we've never looked for shark's teeth. We don't go down to the beach.
Oh,
Oh.
We go on
Oh.
top. And
Yeah.
then
you haven't done the full experience yet.
we
And
haven't.
the interesting thing was, we were walking past this guy who's been fitting out this trailer. I said he's making a tiny house to Keelan, and she said no, he's not. And
Not on the beach.
weeks have gone by as we walked past this guy
In the house.
on
a
his
bit.
drive with this like horse box, and I stopped and said, and he virtually
You
finished
asked?
it, and it is
Yeah.
a tiny house.
I was like
And
trying
it's
to
got-
like, please don't.
It's got a
ask
little
you.
shower inside. It's got beds. It's got the whole. It's
We were there for
so
10
cool.
minutes.
Wow.
And so he would better take it off
It's
for
so
a trial.
tiny. It's like.
Wait, it
the
can't
size
be
of
that
this
tiny if it's
table.
got
No.
shower.
It is. It's
It's
like a
like-
horse box. It's tiny.
Wait, so it's the size of this table,
Yeah.
yet it has a bed in it
This end bed,
and a
yeah.
shower.
Yeah,
Wait, no.
shower.
You can't say this end bed and then show like.
The tiny
Hang on,
thing.
I didn't
Half
say,
a
hang on.
metre.
This house is long. You know, I didn't say this was wide. It's
I said
wider.
it was the same.
It's
as
6
the
foot
table.
wide. So it's wide enough for a bed,
Yeah.
and it's got a shower there and a sink here.
It's
and
just literally
cupboards
tiny. The
and
shower is like you would.
Very
say.
cute. Very cute.
Like the size of this room?
No.
No way. No way.
No
It's the size of a
way.
horse box.
I don't know what a horse box is.
Think of an average horse, and then put a box around it,
Yeah.
and you get a horse box.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
anyway, that was exciting to see that little tiny house on wheels.
And he was taking.
Well, do
wasn't
you know
he?
why? Why he was
Yeah,
doing
they've
it?
Yeah,
got
because
bikes and motorbikes.
They wanted just to. Well, it was a project for him during lockdown.
It's like a mini caravan.
Yeah, it's like a caravan
like
he's
mini
made
caravan.
himself.
Very cool.
Wow.
He got space on the front for his 2 electric bikes, and I mean, just very cool. Very cool. I was dead John.
Well,
Yeah.
that sounds like an extremely
Yeah, shout
fun...
out to Kevin and his tiny house. Yeah.
Because Kevin's watching,
Yeah.
He is now, yeah.
Oh, okay, great. He said, we'll chat about you on Coffee Chats.
Yeah.
And it was,
Yeah, very
the
cool.
famous
Great
Coffee
project.
Chats. Great. Well, that's
I'm sure got lots
exciting.
of tiny house fans who watch Coffee Chat, so
There is something about a tiny
they're
house.
cute, aren't they? When you start to make, get as many cool things in a tiny space as possible. You watch this sort of stuff. You like these programs.
I mean, you sometimes get these things on Facebook or Instagram or whatever that says like, if you like and comment on this, then you can spend a week in this tiny little house place.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And they do one of those like draw
I
things,
bet you've
and
never
everyone
been in a
tags
caravan
everyone.
holiday,
And,
have you?
yeah, I have been in
A tiny caravan.
He
though,
designed-
where you
Emma's
have to
family.
go-
Emma's family do caravan holidays
Okay.
every summer.
Do they take a caravan?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's quite small.
He
Yeah.
designed this really
And there's
cool
loads of
table that
eight
kind
of
of
them.
folded down and became a bed. And he showed me how he designed it. Really cool. Yeah, I liked it.
Well, that sounds
Anyway,
extremely
I'm sure people
exciting.
are switching off at this point.
Or switching on Coffee Chat. Yeah.
They're
Anyway.
to already be on to be hearing.
Great. So
True.
Sunday.
Sunday was great.
Sunday, you were talking as the penultimate. How have we already got to
I
the
know.
penultimate
Time.
We've
is
emerged.
precious.
We have
Of
emerged, haven't
this
we?
emerged series? Yeah, we
Yeah.
are
Are emerging.
we're almost getting to the
Finishing line?
No.
I was trying to think of a better analogy, but I couldn't think of the words in my head.
It's like
you
a
know.
little shoot that's coming out the
We're
sun.
get-
Remember that
We're
I
getting
said.
to the we're getting to the
End?
where do the ships go?
The
Harbour.
harbour?
We're on our way to the harbour.
No, 'cause
I'm not
that's
even.
the dead end.
Oh,
And we're
Why?
in-
No, that's where you get off, and then if you're like on a
Destination.
cruise,
Have we
you
been-
then get off, and then you're like,
Oh,
I'm in my
okay,
new
okay,
place.
okay. So we've been at
Anyway,
Oh, I see.
I'm clearly not
Right.
making. Oh dear.
We've been at
I can't
Stormy
think of the
Sea,
words
and
today.
now we're going to get off onto land and emerge.
Great.
Great.
Perfect
You
analogy.
help me out a little bit.
Perfect analogy.
Simon,
Yes, Sunday.
do you want
Yes,
to tell
so
us what you talked
Sunday
about?
we talked about trust, and we talked about a thing called the change cycle, which we've used before. So whenever change comes, it brings challenge, and challenge gives us an opportunity to grow in trust.
Can I just say,
Yes.
5 years ago on
Yes.
Sunday, you moved to
Yes, to here.
Riverside.
Yeah.
So does that 5 years? How does that
That's
feel that it's
scary.
been 5 years?
Crazy.
And that's
It's
actually
flown
when
by.
they handed the church to us. That
Uh-huh.
was our transition period from
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
So it was at the transition service where he handed us the baton. And so, yeah,
Baton.
amazing. 5 years.
Yeah, it's
Scary
flown by.
though, because you're like 5 years. That's gone so fast.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, the church has
and-
grown so much.
and on that first week, you looked at this change.
Well, a little bit before that, actually, we looked at it a few weeks before because we were preparing the church to transition from its old building to this new site. There was lots of that building been there since 1935.
Uh-huh.
Some people have been born, christened, married, had relatives
Baptised.
buried. I mean, there's so much
Yeah.
history and legacy there that the thought
Can I
of
just say nobody was buried in the church? You
No, but
mean
they've
their funeral?
Was anyone born in the church either? I was going to say. This is a.
I'm available for other gigs. If anyone wants to sign me somewhere else, I'm happy to move from these two. Anyway, so lots of history, lots of legacy, so lots of change, and so that brought challenge. So we talked about how actually challenge brings an opportunity to grow in trust. And so
And there's a different kind of cycle now in terms of it's the same cycle
Yeah.
but from a negative.
yeah, we said actually
COVID
they were positive change agents of health and growth, but actually COVID has brought a lot of disruptive and negative change. But the response to change is always the same. The challenge can take us deeper into trust, regardless if it's a negative or a positive change agent. We can still choose to trust God in a deeper way.
And then you challenged us to do a bit of a
Trust audit, yeah.
Yeah, this was
Where
interesting.
do we
Tell
put
us
our
about
trust?
this trust audit.
Well, it was just this idea that in the Bible it talks about trusting on Jesus rather than just trusting
I
in.
love
Yeah,
that
that was really.
And we
good.
used the
Do you wanna-
CN Tower.
Yeah,
Say that
explain
again.
that because that was a
The-
really
the In
good.
and on, very memorable, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah, so this word in the Greek to on is a much more holistic, full-on word rather than just in something. So I talked about visiting the Toronto CN Tower back in 1994.
which is an incredible
yeah,
building.
1,800 foot high tower, and at 1,000 feet they've got this glass floor which has been newly installed, which you could walk out on and look straight between your toes, 1,000 feet down. Terrifying experience, really messes with your head. But I said you could trust in all the facts about the floor, but until you stepped out on the floor, you weren't trusting on it. And I tried to give the analogy actually as Christianity is all about trusting on a person of Jesus, which means we put our skin in the game. We actually
Yeah, I like that.
we lean onto him rather than just going, yeah, we believe he's real. We actually have to step out into what he says.
So there's an action involved in trusting
An expression, yeah, an action, a direction. It's all if you think about Jesus said, "Follow me," it's all an active process. And sometimes we reduce Christianity right down just to an intellectual exercise. So yeah, I love that word and that sense of. And you went to the CN Tower when you were 12.
Oh yeah,
And you
I went
so
to CN
keen.
Tower.
You were traumatised, weren't you?
I could stand on the edge and put my foot on.
Did you not?
But
look across?
I mean, there was quite a lot of photos. I think I ended up to go on it. I ended up lying down because they were saying
Kind of looking up.
and looking up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I couldn't. So I think I've got a photo of
was it triggering
someone
you
taking a
yesterday when
photo.
Simon
Of,
started talking
No,
about
no.
it? Were you like, oh, and could you remember it? Like, were you transported
I
back?
can't remember it that well,
Oh.
but I do think I've seen a photo of me lying down, facing up,
But not looking.
with
You weren't
yeah.
fully immersed in the trust process.
No,
You
I
pretended
wasn't.
You weren't.
I wasn't. I was.
You were
I was
saying
trying
people who
to
do that, who walk across, but they're looking.
Yeah, a friend of mine walked across like a zombie, looking straight
And
ahead.
you're saying that's cheating.
Well, it's kind of not the full exhilarating experience that you have when you're gonna just look down.
I'm happy to admit that me lying down like that
Was
is
enough.
definitely
Was enough.
cheating.
And then you were dragged
But-
off.
And I know all those suffering, I know all those who don't like heights were struggling a bit on Sunday when I showed that picture. There was a few going.
Yeah.
But yeah, great analogy in terms of trusting on. And we did this trust audit, and we said, there's different areas of your life because we love to compartmentalise our lives, particularly in the West. And I said, when you come to follow Jesus, you might have trusted God in one area but not another. So we looked at different areas like identity and security and your future and your health. And we said you could put your trust in yourself, you could put your trust in someone else, something else, or in God. We just said, let's be honest before each other, just in our own time, and say, where does our trust lie?
And I think it changes all the time, doesn't
Yeah.
it? But it's reminding ourselves to be moving towards
Yeah.
fully trusting in God. But I think we always pull back sometimes, and then we'll be
Yeah.
trusting in the
Yeah.
thing in front of us or ourselves. And we need to
Absolutely.
be reminded to keep on putting our trust.
And I also think it would be easy to go through that process, and because it feels academic, the exercise, to take, well, I know, I trust God in that area, I trust God in that area, I trust God, but actually to look at what is it that my actions
What are the
show
actions?
that I
Yeah.
trust. Because, for example, I could so easily say, I trust God with certain relationships, but in reality, I might feel like I have to do certain things in order for this relationship to grow, to be.
Absolutely.
So looking at your actions is an important part of the audit.
It always reveals where your true beliefs are. Your actions will reveal. You might state something, but your actions will reveal what your true belief is. Because we live out to those beliefs, those actual beliefs rather than stated beliefs. So yeah, we just encourage you to be honest. Then basically to invite God in. Just God's not surprised by your answers. He's not upset by your answers.
Wasn't a test.
Wasn't a test. Invite God in, and then we suggested, moving your in to on. How can you make a little step, maybe in every area, and say, I'm going to put a little bit of skin in the game and move my trust a little bit more towards you, God, in this area. So we encourage people to do a bit of homework and say, what might that look like for you in your workplace, in your home life, with your finances, whatever else. So hopefully, I'm hoping that people have taken that homework away and done a little bit with it.
Yeah, I think it's important also to just clarify. What you're not saying is if your trust is in God, then you don't need any actions yourself.
No.
You're not saying,
It's partnership,
if there's
isn't it?
God, to go back to relationship thing, if I want my relationship to grow and be good with someone, it doesn't mean that I just go, my trust in God, I don't need to do anything.
No, exactly.
It's
It's always a
working.
partnership,
Always working and always deepening, and I think, as we said on Sunday, it's that dynamic journey with God. It's always a direction. It's always a moving more into God. It's always discovering more because as we trust, we mature, and that graph that sort of cycle that goes around to great maturity. That maturity produces health and growth, and that health and growth produces change, and round we go again. It's this constant cycle in our lives that's dynamic, and so we're always maturing, always growing. If we're constantly kind of leaning into God in different ways. So
It's a great talk. I would watch it on
Yeah.
YouTube if you
Yeah,
haven't,
thank you.
because you'll hear even more depth than
and
you've
this
got on this
and
coffee
this
chat. which
and this
that's
Sunday we're
hard
going
to
to
believe.
finish with emerging in opportunity. We're going to look at different things that we've got in opportunity and creativity as we come at the end of this series to think about what could we do with the seasons ahead.
And what has been a great series has also been a very practical series. So just as we finish, do you want to give almost a reason why it's worth people picking up on these practical things at the end of each talk or throughout each talk of why it's worth looking at doing these things with God and spending this time with God as we come out of the Emerge series?
Yeah, it has been really practical, hasn't it? I think every week there's been some kind of, not homework, but a very practical thing, because we like being practical, because that's what following Jesus is. It's practical, it's dynamic.
Yeah.
But this series particularly has been, like you say, every week there's been, right, go and do that, because if you do, you'll be building the blocks so that you can emerge well. And they are actually, if you think about it, they're building blocks for life, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're not just to come out of the COVID pandemic. They are, you know, whenever you feel grief, you can go, oh, remember, you know, I know how to deal with grief and loss, because like we said, life is a series of losses. So they are life lessons, even though we've packaged them in the Emerge series. And I just think it's really important to hold on to those and always use them.
Yeah. And what we're trying to do is help people grow in wisdom and grow in their relationship with God. So, and that only works if you apply. And as Keith said, put things into your life. You can have all the. It's exactly like the talk on Sunday. I could have read all the facts about that floor. You know, it was all there about how it's constructed and all the great things about the glass and how it was load tested and all that. But until I moved that to an expression, it was just theoretical. Yeah. And so you can hear 1,000 great talks, but unless you, and Jesus said, you know, when you apply these words, you're like a wise man who dug down and built his house on a rock. You know, you have to put them into practice, and it's the practical application of wisdom that changes us. So,
I think we're all guilty of hearing talks and thinking, they're 100%. Amazing talk, brilliant, but we don't do the practical thing, and then why haven't I changed, or why do I still feel the same because I heard that great talk, and you have to be reminded, okay, I haven't actually done the things that I need to do to match up the fact that it was a great talk, but there's also stuff I need to do. So we're all guilty of that, and we need to be reminded too. Our faith is a practical faith.
And I think because we live in a culture where we consume so much stuff, so much data, it's so readily available, we're very good at actually just moving one thing to the next and not actually applying that. So just a little bit, just 10 minutes to step aside and say, how can I actually apply that to my life will make a massive difference.
Great. So that's our challenge then this week, is to go away and do this trust audit. And if you haven't done any of the other challenges, maybe even to go through and spend a bit of time.
Go back and have a go.
Great, cool. So we'll see you on Sunday for the last talk of the Emerge series as we bring it to an end, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.